Today I'm going to talk about the prototype sample review process, what I go through with each client when developing their original product. But first, I have exciting news. I actually am going to do a giveaway, this Chanel book, which she's one of my favorite designers, with images and a history about her. I'm gonna give this away to one of my lucky subscribers that makes a comment below, follows my @DesignToProduce Instagram, and I'll select one in my next video and I'll send you all this free book. That was actually my son's idea because I have a few of these. He was like, why don't you give it to one of your subscribers? So please shoot me a DM in the link below and I will reach out and get your address. Now I want to talk about the process, and this is so exciting. Clients are always like, when is my product coming? They just cannot wait to see their prototype. They want to touch the fabric, see their design come to life. What normally happens is I'll get the prototype. Here you can see, here's also, this is a men's underwear that I just developed. It's the softest bamboo fabric. And what the factory will usually do is they'll send the color card along with the sample. You'll see here all the different colors that this can be made in this bamboo fabric. And what I'll do for this particular client, you can see I made them their own swatch card. So I did a swatch card for them. I'm gonna send this to them along with the sample so that once they receive the sample, we can have a video Zoom call and go over the different colors together, and I help them merchandise their collection for the bulk production. Here's what happens. I receive the sample and I will measure it out with my measuring tape, make sure it's on spec. Anywhere it's off spec, let's say the waistband comes in a little small, I'll make those notes in the tech pack. I'll update that with the first prototype sample measurements. I'll look at it for any quality control issues. This one is super cool. We had this elastic custom done for the client with their logo. You'll see the quality front and back of this elastic is amazing. The client had actually shown me a original Tom Ford sample for reference for quality that he wanted for the elastic. So a lot of what I'll be discussing on that call with my client would be the quality and everything of the waistband, and if he's happy with the scale of the logo. He might say to me, Jessica, I want my logo smaller. I feel like it's too big on the front, or something like that. These are the types of things that we would discuss on the call. I also would tell my client at this point, please wear the product or get a fit model to wear it, test it out, see how it does. If it's active wear, go do the sport in it, see how it holds up. Does it absorb sweat? Does it repel sweat? Things like that. And then I usually tell them as well with the fabric to go ahead and wash it and see how it performs. I've found with some clients they've washed their garment and then they found that the fabric really shrunk a lot, or they found that the fabric got too wrinkly and they didn't like how it looked after it came out of the dryer. So these are the types of things that you can figure out early on in the design process before you go to production later. What I'll also do when I get the first prototypes is I'll take pictures of them front and back, any details. For example, this one has a pocket here. I'll take pictures of the inside details of that, because after I ship it to my client, I'm gonna wanna have a reference of those sizes and anything that could be wrong with those if they wanted to change them. After I take the picture front and back and details of the samples, I add it to the client's tech pack. And you might say, well, why do you do that? Once the client says, they check off and they say, okay, this prototype is approved, I'm ready to order my 200-piece production order. At that point, I'll need to go back and update the tech pack with any new changes to the actual flat sketch, measurement changes, any kind of design changes that were made, and that's when it's good to have a photograph of the actual prototype sample in there, so that when I'm communicating back and forth with the factory, we have a point of reference. Also, you'll notice on Design to Produce Instagram, I do like to promote my client's product. It's always really exciting when the samples come in, so I will take those pictures, do detailed videos, and also promote them on my social media outlets. Once the client receives the prototype, for my clients, a lot of them I would say are not located in the same city where I am. I'll send them their prototype sample, and then when we do a video call, they'll usually 9 times out of 10 be wearing the product, and we'll talk about any fit issues or changes that they want to do. I do want to clarify, because I know there's a lot of misinformation out there on the internet, that I think people are under the assumption that the first prototype is going to be perfect. This is never the case. Sometimes you'll be really, really close, and maybe you'll just say, oh, I want to taper the sleeve on this, or the sleeve's too long, we need to take an inch off the sleeve because I don't like how long it comes down. Those are very minor changes, and those are easy corrections for me to relay to the factory and just tell them to fix it on the pre-production sample, and we could go straight to production. Something like a design change, like I have sometimes clients, they decide they get the fabric that they chose in the first meeting, and when they get the sample made up in it, and they say, I think this fabric's too heavy. I'm not crazy about this fabric. So then they'll want to change the fabric and make another sample. If that's the case, then yes, they have to pay for a second prototype to be made, which is fine, and people get frustrated, but it's a process. And it's better that you sort of go with the flow, get into the process, take your time now, make sure you love the product that you're putting out there, that you love the fabric, and not be in such a rush, because this is the time when you can really test the market, even get feedback from your friends and people with your actual prototype, see what they say. Because I would hate for a client, and I would never advise this, to go straight to production without wear testing, washing their fabric, making sure they really love their product before producing in multiples. Usually when the client is happy with the prototype and they're ready to move forward, at that point, once we made the sample, I have a cost from the factory per unit, based usually off 200 units, what it would be. So I can give you an example, like a hoodie jacket style would be anywhere from $20, $25, depending on the fabric that the garment's made in. So at that point, they know what their cost is gonna be, and I negotiate those costs all in, meaning the fabric, the labor, the trims, the zippers, the logo tags, the printing, and also the freight and freight forwarding and duty. I give an all-in package price. It makes it really easy for my clients. So that $25, let's say if this was $25, that's all in. That's per unit times 200. So there's no hidden cost. The client knows exactly what they're paying, and it makes it really easy for the client. I take all the hard work out of the process. So once the client is ready to go to production, they've approved their perfect prototype, they usually say to me, what's the next step? At that point, I have the factory invoice me for the amount. The client always has to pay 50% down in order for them to start the production order. The reason being is they then have to buy all the goods, the trims, the fabrics that they need to make the garments. So that pretty much covers all that cost, and then they start the production. The client at that point really doesn't have much contact with me until I'm ready for them to pay again at the end. So the other 50% is usually due 7 days before they put the product on the ship, on the freight container. And that's when they pay the balance. It's amazing. It's really all set up for all my clients. They don't have to do much. They just have to weigh in, yes, no, I love this, it's approved. I know it could seem intimidating dealing with manufacturers. I speak their language, so it really takes the guesswork out of doing that for my clients, and they can trust that I know what I'm doing. If you can, just give it a thumbs up, subscribe, hit that button for notifications, and I'll be here soon with the next, with the winner of this Chanel book. I'll be announcing in the next video. Again, I'll put the information below in the description of how you can win this simply just supporting my channel. Take care, everybody. Ciao.